I think we're live. My dogs are gonna bark because my mom just got home. Oh, it's setting up your meeting, redirecting you to YouTube. Yep, we're live.
Let's see.
We'll wait like a couple seconds, and okay, we got 2 people watching. Are you watching?
No, I'm reloading the right now.
We'll wait a couple seconds for more people to hop on before we get started.
No, I don't see it popping up yet.
I'm not gonna lie.
All right, you ready, Javi?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, what's up, Shepherd Youth? It looks like we got about 8 people on. This is my friend Javi. You're graduating from Heritage, right?
Yes, I'm graduating from Heritage this
year. And bro, tell everybody what you're doing for college.
Oh yeah, so for college, so I have a bunch of Division 2 and Division offers, but like money wise from what's going on, like the best fit for me is to get like the most money I can. So I'm going out to Toronto to this prep academy to do another season of football, and then I'll get recruited from there, and then go to a Division 1 school. I already have interest from Utah, Sac State, and stuff like that. So
dude, that's awesome.
Once they follow along with me through, so yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome, dude. Well, I'll get started rolling through this stuff, but here's a would you rather question. I want you to think about this. Everybody who's watching, you respond to, but the question is, would you rather be able to go back in time and meet your ancestors, or go forward and meet your descendants? And you can choose. You can choose which like your parents, grandparents. You can choose which generation you go to. But would you rather go back in time, meet your ancestors, or forward and meet your descendants?
I'd rather go back in time. Yeah. That's what I say. Why?
Yeah. And what does everybody else who's on live think? What would you guys do?
Yeah, I'd rather go back in time because I never met my dad's pop from so I never met my grandpa on my dad's side. So like yeah, he was in the Marines and stuff like that, served in World War II. So I wanted to maybe ask him like how it was and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Dude, that's awesome. My reason, and once again, whoever's watching on live, let us know because I want to see what you say. My reasoning is much less wholesome. I would go back to my parents. I want to be alive though, so I can't. I want them to have met. They're engaged. I go to college, right? And then here's what I do. I'm like, hey, mom, dad, I need this. I'm your kid. I know you're not married yet, but I'm your kid. It would be so creepy, but I'd have to say something to convince them. And then I would be like, all right, I need you to take all the money you have and invest in Apple stock. And then when Amazon shows up, it's going to be this company. They're only going to sell books online, but you need to put all your money in Amazon after Apple. And then I would just be like, what do you think?
That's crazy. That's actually smart. That's really smart.
Right? Because I was talking to Brienne. She was like, I go visit my kids, or then she was like, no, I think I go back. But nobody had this reasoning. Then right now, like I would be loaded, man. I'd just be set for life.
Exactly. You'd be set up for life.
Yeah. And I would go at a time. Brienne is convinced I would still be different, which is probably true. But I would go at a time when that they would still be going into ministry, they'd be getting married, so I would still exist. But I would just change. I would change as little as I could. But that's let's see what some people on live said. Okay, I see Meet My Ancestors. Ollie says Descendants. Joshua Wolf says Ancestors because of what Caleb said.
That's smart. He's smart. That's smart.
Yeah. See, I knew. I'm like, you just got to give me a second to.
Ancestors.
What'd you say, Javi?
Everyone's saying ancestors.
Yeah, because I gave some great reasonings for it. Who says Descendants? Derek, why Descendants? You got to get back to me and tell me why. Everybody else is saying they're with me, but I want to know why you chose Descendants. And while you're saying why, we're gonna play a little game. Couple. Javi, do you know any Disney songs?
Okay, I'm probably gonna get clowned on for this. I probably know where the movie, like what movie it's from, but like not the exact name.
Let's see how you do. Let's see how you do. Okay, and everybody else, type into the comments what Disney song you think this is. Here it is. Give me the movie and the song if you can. I think you can get it. I'm not really gonna sing because I'm not great at singing, but like, ready? Let's get down to business to defeat the Huns.
No, I don't know this one.
You don't know it?
No, I don't. It doesn't sound familiar. I think it's your scene.
Yeah, I think it probably is. Let's get down to business to defeat the Huns. Did they send me daughters when I asked for sons?
Oh, so it's like a princess movie or something.
Kinda.
Is it? It can't be Brave because he had sons. No,
Dude,
I'm going Brave. I'm gonna go with Brave. It's
Brave. Bro, everybody on YouTube, they're getting it. You're not. It's Mulan.
It's from Mulan? Oh my god.
Have you seen Mulan?
I haven't watched that movie.
Okay. I guess that's weird because Mulan was like a big movie when I was a kid. Let's give you a new one. All right. Oh, somebody even said I'll make a man out of you. Who got that one right? Oh, Candace. Good job, Candace. Okay. Let's see how you can do this one. That's too old. Okay, I'll give you a newer one. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. Don't let them in. Don't let them see. Be the good girl you always have to be. Conceal. Don't feel. Don't let them know. Well, now they know.
Okay, this is from Frozen.
Yeah, it's from Frozen.
Okay, I got that part.
It's like the most popular song.
Is it Let It Go?
Yeah, it's Let It Go. It's Let It Go.
There we go.
Okay. Oh, ooh. Let's see. Okay, this is another classic. I'm giving you a hint. Everybody on YouTube, this is a classic. Let's see who got the one before that. Ollie, Kaylee, everybody knew it was Frozen. Here's a classic song. Let's see if Javi, if you get this, everybody else, if you get it. I keep losing my place. I found it. Okay. Ready? I've got gadgets and gizmos aplenty. I've got who's its and what's its galore. You want thingamabobs? I got 20. But who cares? No big deal. I want more.
Let's see. I'm gonna take a guess. Is it from Aladdin?
It's not from Aladdin.
Okay. Let's see.
There are fish in this movie.
Oh, it's from Mermaid. I mean Mermaid. My Little Mermaid.
Well, I was hoping you'd be like Nemo, but yeah, it's Little Mermaid. Let's see who.
No, but I don't know the name of it.
All right. Well, that's all I'm going to do for the game today. But Javi, we have something important to handle right now. For everybody on YouTube, a couple weeks ago, I tried to break an apple with my hands, and I posted it live, even though I didn't want to because I was defeated and I couldn't do it. And Javi decided to send me a message, and he basically said, like, he said, bro, you're so soft. You shave your legs, don't you? And then I was like, what? And he's like, I'll break that apple easy. I'm way bigger than you. So
it is you.
Yeah, bro, wait.
Get up, bro. Come on, Caleb.
Dude, I'm waiting. Are you kidding me? No, look.
Caleb, come over to my house and we can put weight on the bar and we can lift.
All right, we'll do that, bro. But we're probably neighbors, aren't we? Because I saw you at Smart and Final. Okay, let's see. Well, let's see. Everybody, let's see if Javi can break an apple. I don't think he can do it.
I got an apple right here.
Did you? Hey, you show me. Zoom in. Show me. You didn't like,
Look.
there's no, all right, it looks clean. It looks clean.
It's
Show me what you,
fresh. Okay, well, 2 hands like this.
2 hands,
Let me
yeah,
see.
you can't do it.
It's cracking.
Yeah, I got it to crack too, harder than it looks, isn't it?
It is harder than it looks, but you know.
Now, yeah, who's small now? This is what I wanted. I wanted to make this eat. Oh, you got it.
What's up? Big boy.
Oh man.
I know
Dude,
you.
That's the
Don't
first
play
time
with
I've
me.
ever lost in my life.
Don't play with me, Caleb.
Bro, I'm embarrassed. Dude, you know what? You did it. You're bigger than me, bro. You're bigger
I
than
gotta
me.
clean this up. Look at that.
How did you do that?
Bro, I don't even know.
All right, bro. Well, I accept my defeat. You're bigger than me. You're stronger than me. I bet if we benched at your house, I bet you live more than me. But you know what? I got like so many D1 offers. It was crazy. So like I'm just
Okay, I feel that. I feel that. You got me there. You got me there.
no, I'm just giving you a hard time, bro. But hey, dude, thanks so much for hopping on with us. And I admit my defeat to you. And hey, bro, I love you. I'll see you later. All right.
All right. See you, man.
See you later, Javi.
See ya.
All right. Rachel is gonna hop on pretty soon, and then we're gonna have a little. Oh, there she is. What's up, Rachel?
Hi, Caleb.
Did you see Javi break that apple?
I did, and that was actually really exciting. I didn't think he was going to be able to.
I really didn't think he'd be able to either, and it's kind of. I feel like my ego's kind of hurt right now, but
Yeah.
you know, it's probably good for me, don't you think?
Well, don't worry. I won't try to break an apple because I probably really won't.
Rachel,
And I
if you tried to break an apple and you did it, I would just leave the live right now, and then that would be it, because that would be embarrassing.
That was honestly really impressive. I'm not going to lie.
Well, he's a really good football player, so I guess it makes sense. Whatever.
We should have him give him a more difficult fruit to.
Yeah, next, we'll give him like a watermelon or just a melon. Then I bet a watermelon. We'll start with watermelon. All right, Javi.
Yeah.
Next week, you're trying to break a watermelon. Well, Shepherd Youth, we're gonna have a quick message from Rachel, and we're doing something a little different. When we were actually going to be at church still, we were going to do a series called Testimony. We were going to do an interview style, bring somebody on stage from our staff that we know and love, because we have amazing people on our staff. And we just want to invite staff members one by one and kind of hear their story, hear their testimony. And Rachel's the coolest staff member we have. So obviously she's got to go first. And basically all I'm going to do is I'm just going to ask Rachel a couple of questions. And hopefully by asking her these questions, we can hear a little bit of her testimony and maybe learn how to follow God better in our lives. So Rachel, are you ready?
I hope so.
Okay.
That's a lot to live up to.
Yeah, no, you're gonna do great. Here's my first question. Can you tell us about the first time in your life that you started taking your relationship with God more seriously? Like, what happened? Was it a moment, and why did you start taking it more seriously?
Yeah. Well, I grew up going to church, and I've probably been at church like my whole life. I didn't remember much besides not going to church. So church was kind of the routine for me and my family. And it probably wasn't until like shortly after my parents got divorced. Like before they had gotten divorced, I was like, oh my gosh, God, thank you so much. My parents are still together. So many of my friends, like their parents aren't. And like, I just felt so lucky that my parents were still together. And then, having my parents get divorced, it was kind of like a reality check of like, oh, like my life is not in my control. And like, how can I just let the world happen to me? Like what can I do as a human, like as a tiny like teenage girl with this whole entire world? So like I think it came to a point where I just saw my family kind of break, and I realized that we're not in control of anything, even like having good parents, having split up parents, having whatever kind of family you have. You just realize that like the world is not something you can control. And so I got to a point where I could either let the world dictate how I felt, or I could let God dictate my life and he could be the center for it. And so I think I just got to a breaking point where I was just confused as to why that was happening to me. Um, and I think that really caused me to ask questions of, is God real? Is God there? Does God listen to me? Why do bad things happen? Why do bad things happen to good people? Why do good things happen to bad people? And so I think it was from really like questioning everything that made me draw closer to him, because it was no longer my parents bringing me to church and me just being brought along for the nachos. It was all right, the nachos, right, and hot chocolate on Saturday nights. um but it was me going to church and actually writing notes and taking notes and listening and asking like the deeper questions. So that was probably like the catalyst for me drawing closer to God.
So, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it was actually around the time your parents divorced, which how old were you then?
I was 13.
13. And it was when you realized you weren't in control, and that made you kind of seek out somebody who was, or somebody who was always stable and in control.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's,
Yeah.
and I love what you said about how you started seeking, not like you had answers, but you had questions. And it sounds like your questions actually led you to develop this desire to find God. And then you did find him. And I kind of agree with that too. It's not my testimony, but my friend was an atheist, and his questions and then my questions actually really led me to know God better too. So I really relate to that. And then the next question I have for you is, do you have a life verse? Like, is there a verse that stuck out to you that you're like, that's my life verse and I love it? And then I want to know why did it become your life verse?
Yeah, definitely. So the verse that always comes to mind is Psalms 27:10. And it says, though my father and mother forsake me, the Lord will receive me. And the first time I heard it, I cried because I was like, I've never felt so seen and so heard in a verse before. And I think I was just overwhelmed that finally there was words to put with like my pain. And so like hearing that verse and knowing it, and reading it in the Bible, which, you know, when I was younger, I didn't think that there was that many relevant things in the Bible, unfortunately. I just was like, oh, it's old, it doesn't apply to today. But reading that, I was like, wow, like people have been having parental issues like since the beginning of time, since the beginning of parent-child relationships. Um, and so like that verse, I memorized it, I put it everywhere, I made it like the background, like on my computer, and I like had it like post-it notes like in my bathroom, just so that way I wouldn't forget, because like I felt like the verse gave me comfort because it reminded me that people aren't perfect, whether they're parents or they're not parents yet, that people have struggles and they have issues, and that God can still redeem them, and he can still bring us hope of a future. But I just love that God, even through our parents' faults and mistakes, like God is so adamant in reminding us like how much we're loved and how much we're worthy. So even if our parents aren't telling us that, he puts people and words and scripture in our face that says, no, like I don't care what anyone says, like you're loved, you're worthy, you are like my son, my daughter. And so like having those words were so powerful to me.
That's awesome. Can you read the verse one more time?
Yes, it is Psalms 27:10, and it says, though my father and mother forsake me, the Lord will receive me.
That's, yeah, that's an amazing verse. And
Yeah.
this third question kind of relates to everything you've said. So if you if you feel like you don't have much more to offer, that's fine. We'll have one more question. But the third question I have is, have you ever had a time where you felt like God didn't show up? Like you were asking these questions and dealing with these hard times in life, and you're just like, God, where are you at right now? And then if you have had one of those, how did you handle it?
Yeah. So growing up, I kind of had a lot of bad things happen to me, whether they were things from like my own actions or other people, their actions. But in particular, I've had a couple family members die in a short amount of time. And a few years ago, when my dad passed, I think I was actually the most mad at God. I was already mad that my mom left, and now God took away the only other parent I ever had. Um, and so, like, I really just felt like I had experienced so much pain, and I was so faithful to God. And I just felt like maybe He would protect me a little bit more, or He knows everything. And so He knows the pain I've already experienced. So I just was expecting Him to, like, just to, He's got my back, like He knows that I've already gone through and just not fun things. And so when that happened, I think that I was really, really mad at God. And like, I know God knows how we're feeling and how we're thinking, because He knows all, and He's, powerful, um and of course He's God, but I had to work through that anger by actually talking to Him and telling Him how I felt. Like, it wasn't a matter of God knowing without me telling Him, because that's not how relationships work. I had to literally sit down, talk to God, and tell Him, like, God, like, I'm mad, I'm angry, I'm upset, like, I'm confused. Um, this was a lot of pain and sorrow to go through. Um, and for it to happen unexpectedly, and for me not even to be able to say goodbye to my dad, um, I like it was just really, really tough. And so through talking to him, and through comfort from friends, and reminders through mentors that, like, God is still faithful even in the bad stuff, and He's faithful even in the good things. Um, I was able to release the anger and find forgiveness. And, I told God that I was sorry. I was mad at Him. Um, but it was just, you can't work through things if you don't talk to God, whether it's through prayer, journaling, or even just pretending like He's on a Zoom call with you, like, um, just those reminders of who He is and how powerful He is. And I'll never understand why that happened, and I probably won't ever, because I'm not God. But it's not about understanding, it's about having faith. And so I just had to look back at what I was able to get, and that I was lucky enough that, like, my dad passed after I got married, and so I was able to walk down the aisle with him. um so yeah, so just communication, and letting people know how you feel, and especially expressing that to God.
Yeah. I really like how you said you were honest with God. And it sounds like, if I had to like summarize what you said, and tell me if I'm wrong again, but it sounds like you're saying be honest with God and be honest with the people who love you in your life and are there for you. Because like, by being honest to God, it's, if you try to keep all that in, it builds like resentment towards Him. But when you're just honest with God about how you're feeling, it actually starts building that relationship. And then also being honest with others around you, allow them to have an opportunity to comfort you and remind you of God's faithfulness even in the hard times. Is that kind? Would you say that's a good way to summarize it?
Yeah, that's a perfect way. Yeah, because yeah, you're only as strong as the pain that you let people know about. So yeah, having people know and not building that resentment towards God, that's the perfect way to put it.
That's really good. Thank you so much for sharing all that. I know somebody is going to watch that and need to hear that. And I got one more question for you. We got like 6 minutes left, so might have to um, we'll have to go a little shorter and run our announcements quick. But the last question is just how do you connect with God? Like, is there something that you do that helps you kind of get in line with God? Because I feel like everybody's different, everybody has their own thing, and I'm just wondering what it is for you.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, there's no right or wrong answer here. people have different preferences. I think mine would vary on the day and what I'm going through. So I love going on walks and I love going outside. And sometimes I'll purposely not have headphones or I won't talk on the phone, and I'll just look around at things around me and I'll just thank God for those small things. And then it builds and builds and builds. And then I don't even realize like where I started, but I'm talking to God about something that I didn't even know I was struggling with just because I started with something small. He reveals so much to you when you're vulnerable to Him. So, yeah, I'll just say, wow, I love those flowers. Like, God, you're so cool. And you made butterflies. Like, that's crazy. They're so tiny and small, yet they're so delicate and full of so many details. And then some days I'll go to the gym. Well, when we were allowed to. And I'll put on worship music on my headphones and I'll just walk or run for a few miles. And I'll either have an album on repeat or a certain song that I feel like speaks to me. So I think that, those two would be kind of like when I'm outside. And then at home, I just really like to sit in silence. I know it sounds weird and creepy, but it really helps me clear my mind and focus on like what I need to talk to God about. And then when I'm really struggling or when I'm having like a particularly hard day, I've got friends and mentors who they, at the drop of a hat, will be like, Rachel, this verse, Rachel, this truth, Rachel, this reminder. And they're just so simple. And yet it's so easy to forget like everything that you've learned in a heartbeat when something bad happens, because you just get so clouded with like anger or sadness or confusion. And so having people break the lies of Satan that quickly, it really stops the cycle of downward spiraling. And so like those are my go-to ways pretty much all the time.
Man, I love everything you said. Everything you said was so good. And even if I'm kind of nerding out, because one of the things you said, like, I don't even know if you meant to do it, but you're like, I'll just like look at the butterflies and thank God. And that's what Jesus tells you to do, like when you're worried. So I was like, that's so good. She's just like quoting scripture and speaking God's truth. Exactly. It's just good stuff. So
No,
I love you, Rachel. I love working with you. You're awesome. Thank you so much for being honest with us and sharing. And students, everybody on YouTube, we're going to be doing this the next couple weeks. And I think it'll be Brianne or I interviewing multiple different people from our staff. So stick around. We'll see you guys next week, 5:30 YouTube live now. And then two quick announcements is one of them is sign up for Summer with Shepherd Youth.
Yeah.
We're gonna do some awesome stuff. You can sign up at shepherdyouth.com.
Yeah.
And so if you go to shepherdyouth.com, sign up with Summer with Shepherd Youth. We're gonna do fun, crazy stuff over Zoom calls. Even though we're online, we're gonna have a great time. So make sure you sign up. Don't miss out on that for your summer. And also, last announcement, make sure you hop over and watch our Shepherd Church service online with your family. Shepherdchurch.com, YouTube, Facebook, but go watch our Shepherd Youth services. That's all we got for you guys today, but we love you guys.
Love you guys. Bye.